In the journey of learning, curiosity is the compass. Good day, everyone. Department of English in Sri Chandraprabhu Jain College is delighted to invite everyone for the 5 days webinar. Today, the topic is about connect and communicate the art and interpersonal skills. By our expert, Dr.M.Nagalakshmi ma'am. She is being with us for the today's webinar. I welcome everyone to this webinar. Thank you so much for joining us, all the departments, heads of the departments, faculty members, and lovable students. It's time to welcome our faculty members, departments, and the chief guests, and all the students. I request our Sendil Kumran sir to welcome our gathering.
Thank you, ma'am. Very good morning, one and all present here. Myself, or Sendil Kumaran, Assistant Professor, Department of English. This webinar is hosted by Department of English in collaboration with the IQAC, which will be conducted from 18 Jan to 22 Jan. The topic for the webinar is Crafting Excellence, Unleashing the Power of Soft Skill. Today is first day's webinar. I heartily welcome our chief guest, Dr.M.Nagalakshmi, Professor of English, Wells Institute of Science and Technology, Pallavaram. Also, we welcome our Honorable Principal, Dr. N. Sujatam, ma'am, for allowing this program for the betterment of students. Also, we welcome various department staff for this program. Last but not least, I welcome each and every my students to this webinar. I hope through this webinar, every student will enrich this soft skill. On behalf of Department of English, once again, I have invite everyone. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. You are welcoming everyone in well manner. It's time to our leader of Sri Chandraprabhu Jain College. She is the one to backbone of us to do everything to move off every particles of the thing. She is nothing but our principal ma'am, Dr. N. Sujata. Now, I would request her to give a presidential address to the gathering. Welcome, ma'am.
Very good morning and warm welcome on behalf of the management members as well as myself to this esteemed institution, Sri Chandraprabhu Jain College, Minjur. So today, the 5 days webinar, which has been organized by the Department of English on a good, rightful topic for the students, which is needed for the hour. Thank you, ma'am, Dr. Nagalakshmi, for joining and inaugurating this session, the day one. So we are expecting your insights after your presentation. Definitely the students will get a enriched knowledge and they can concentrate in the soft skills. So normally speaking, the hard skills can be acquired by the students through the schooling or the college education or through any kind of a workplace. But the soft skill is not like that. So they must have a different pathway for that. So for that only the department is organizing today what is about soft skill, why it is important in this day-to-day life. So normally asking a question also in a different session is called as a soft skills, because nowadays the students are when we are asked them in the class any doubt, they'll not come forward and they'll ask for any questions. So that is also included in the, I hope, in the soft skill session, asking a question and getting clearing the doubts, communicating with the other person, the critical thinking, everything. So thank you all the speakers, one after the another, for the next 5 days. That definitely after this end of the 5 days webinar, the students will think smartly and they talk smartly after acquiring the knowledge from our eminent resource persons. So thank you for all the heads of the department, faculty members, and my dear students. So take the good things in these sessions. So I congratulate the Department of English the head of the department, Madam Vijayalakshmi, Sendil Kumaran, Asha Devi, and Deepa Martin for having coordinated and arranged this 5 days webinar for this wonderful session. And thank you all once again. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for your valuable presentation to the students. Sharing is not caring if what you are sharing is capable of breaking someone's heart. Am I right? It's time to introduction to our chief guest. I request our head of the department, Mrs. M. Vijayalakshmi, to give an introduction to the chief guest of the gathering. Welcome, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am. Dr.M.Nagalakshmi is a professor of English at the Wales Institute of Science, Technology and Advanced Studies. Presently, she teaches UG and PG students of English. She is in charge of 10 research scholars, 8 of whom have received awards. Under her guidance, 13 MPhil scholars received their awards. She evaluated 5 PhD theses from various universities. She has almost 23 years of teaching experience, including 11 years in Muscat, Sultanate of Oman. Her experience includes teaching expertise in the English language and literature. She has designed various modules based on the levels of students. She is an IELTS trainer. She has also completed a NIBOSH certificate course on workplace health and safety. She has created course modules for technical English, health and safety education, and work ethics for NVQ students at Tatay, Muscat, the Sultanate of Oman. Besides her PhD, she is qualified for the NTA NET. Her research interests include ESL, EFL, English language teaching, feminism, post-colonial studies of India, British literature, electronic literature, and cultural studies. She has published over 70 research articles in peer-reviewed Scopus and UGC Catalyst journals and conference volumes. She has presented papers at international and national conferences and acted as a resource person for webinars and international conferences. She compiled an English in India book and edited 5 volumes of ISBN books. She has received the Faculty Excellence Award twice from VISTAS, the Rukmani Lakshmipati Teaching Excellence Award, and the Distinguished Service in Teaching in English Language Teaching and Research Award. She recently visited Dubai in January and presented a paper at an international conference held in Mumbai. We are heartfully welcoming you, ma'am, and we are so much excited in listening your session. And dear students, listen carefully. You have an expert in front of you today. You're going to have a wonderful session, and you can also clear your doubts at the end of this session. Welcome you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you. May I start?
Thank you so much, ma'am. As she told us, we are very excited.
Can I start?
Yes, ma'am. Am I audible, ma'am?
Yeah, you're audible.
Now, without further ado, we will turn the time over to our speaker. Let us all welcome Dr. M. Nagalakshmi, ma'am. We are waiting for your presentation. A student too. Your session is now, ma'am.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Good morning, everyone. Yeah, still we have time to say good morning. Good morning. Thanks very much for this young webinar. Yeah, actually, this is a young webinar. Why so? Because the title is so young, it never gets old, right? And also, the aim of this webinar is to address the young minds. So, as I correctly say, that it's a young webinar. So, without much ado, let's start our communication to widen our connections. Hopefully, my PPT slides can change, or I need to change.
You need to change.
Yeah, okay, thank you. So, in this world, we can connect with people through our communication. It's really an art, right? If we are well versed in this art, we can always face this life without any struggle or with confidence. Let's explore the key elements for effective communication. You know that interpersonal skills and communication. So, what we are going to see in this talk, I'm going to introduce the definition of interpersonal skills and types of interpersonal skills and strategies for developing interpersonal skills, and the conclusion. This is sum up, right? Let's start. Definition of interpersonal skills. What do you know about interpersonal skills? And when we talk about interpersonal skills, there is one more question in our mind, because interpersonal skills and intrapersonal skills. So now we are going to talk about interpersonal skills. Interpersonal communication is exchanging information, ideas, and emotion with others through verbal and non-verbal means. So you imagine that if you stand in the podium, you are not only connecting with people through your verbal talks, also with your body language, the posture, the way you stand, the way you walk, right? It also matters. So, interpersonal skills connect people in a positive way, either sometimes in a negative way. The way how you keep yourself, how you carry yourself matters a lot, right? The significance and impacts of interpersonal skills. Significance, right? That important. And impacts of interpersonal skills. What are the ways that the interpersonal skills will impact in a personal context, professional context, then relationship and communication? Let us see all together one by one. Right? Personal context. What is that personal context? When you see, you know, communication actually is the foundation for healthy relationship. When you want to establish and maintain a healthy relationship with your family, friends, and your contacts, that what you show, the way what you show yourself in front of them, which means that how you carry yourself through your verbal and non-verbal words, right? So the ability to communicate effectively, which means that if you are able to understand others' perspectives and navigate conflicts, it contributes the development of strong and meaningful connections. Whether it is expressing emotions or providing support or collaborating shared goals, whatever it is, the interpersonal skills enhance the fabric of personal relationship. So, in a professional context, now you are, you know, your role is a student, right? After your UG or PG, you will go to work. You will work in an organization, right? So, how do you show or how do you develop connections, widen your communications? That matters a lot. Probably you may have core hard skills. Technically, you're expert, right? But how you value the people skill, the soft skill, that matters a lot. People always love technical experts, obviously, when they take, you know, when they are offering a job, they do respect the technical skills you possess. But that is not the only way to go in the success ladder, right? If you want to go up in the success ladder, possess good people skills, good soft skills. That is the main thing to keep strong, navigate workplace dynamics. So, strong interpersonal skills foster a positivity, a positive work environment that also create a good team. So, you will inculcate problem solving skills that will increase your potential. That is very, very important. And when you see the impact on relationship, an impact on communication, you know, the impact personal skills, that interpersonal skills or soft skills or people skills significantly impact the relationship. The ability to understand others' emotions when you are connected with people, you will be able to understand the other's perspective, the emotion of others, that you will gain mutual respect, you will earn mutual respect. So, individuals with strong interpersonal skills are better equipped to navigate conflicts and build a rapport and create a positive environment. So, that is the main thing to sustain in the relationship. Right? Then, impact on communication. We know that without communicating, it is not easy to widen our connections. Right? Why do we need to widen our connection? We, the people, always need support. We always need to create positive environment to live happy and healthy life. So, to eradicate the misunderstandings and enhance collaboration, it is a basic requirement to communicate effectively and efficiently. Right? So we have seen the significance and impacts of interpersonal skills. Now, let us see the types of interpersonal skills. So, you can see here 6 types: active listening, empathy, nonverbal communication, adaptability, conflict resolution, and building trust. So, I have given here like a match, one line phrase. Active listening is, what is active listening? Concentrate, understand, respond, and remember what is being said. What is empathy? Understand and share the feelings of another. Non-verbal communication, body language, facial expressions, gestures, and non-verbal cues. Adaptability, adjust one's approach and behavior in response to circumstances. Conflict resolution, addressing and resolving disputes in a constructive manner. And building trust, establishing reliability, credibility, and confidence in relationship. Okay, let us see one by one in the coming slides. First one is active listening. So you can see here the definition of active listening and some of the key points, right? Active listening involves fully concentrating, understanding, responding, and remembering what is being said. It goes beyond just hearing. It's about engaging with the speaker to comprehend their message. So it is not that I'm the speaker here and you need to, respond to my message. Whoever, you know, talking to you, you should understand the difference between hearing and listening. Hope you all know, right? When you are sitting in the classroom, you may hear loud noises outside the classroom. Probably students may rush to next class, or somebody's mobile phone ringing, or outside vehicle horn sounds. You may hear a lot of noises. And inside the classroom, you will listen what your teacher says to you. So what would be the difference between listening and hearing? Hearing, you will hear all noises. You are not giving your attention. When you listen, you are attentive. You are trying to understand. You are trying to comprehend what the speaker says to you. You are listening to your teacher, which means that you are trying to comprehend what your teacher says to you. Comprehending. Many times our teachers say that you are not concentrating here. You are not attentive in this class. Where are you? You are physically present, mentally absent. Why do they say these comments? Because you are not attentive, which means that you need to show the speaker that you are listening to them. How do you show that? For example, when you are talking to your friend, right, and he is in trouble and he is sharing his problem to you, what is the first thing he expects? When you are using your mobile, he expects you to keep your mobile aside and listen to him, right? So that is what, when somebody talks to you, the first thing they say that keep your mobile aside, because when you are using your phone, which means that you are not listening to the people, you are not comprehending what the speaker talks to you, right? So how do you show that you are listening? That is, you are an active listener. How do you show that? There are methods to show that you are listening. When you listen, try to nod your head, which doesn't mean that when you are nodding your head in the classroom, the teacher will think that you are listening to his or her class. No, not at all. You do understand when you listen to your friend understands that whether you are listening or simply nodding your head. Be attentive. And when he says something that if you don't understand, you can clarify, which means that the speaker understands you are listening and you are not comprehending the point which he mentions. So you want clarification. Reflect your feelings when he says that somebody has done something which is not appropriate, and you feel that no, that is not the way. You think that is correct. You just reflect your feelings, which means that he understands that you are listening. Be attuned to feelings, which means when he or she in a trouble, expects your comfort, console them. Give respect to their feelings. And if somebody talks to you, and if the person, the speaker, expects you to ask questions related to the topic which just he shared, try to ask questions. So these are the ways to show to the speaker that you are listening. You are an active listener, right? This is the very first step. That's why in our learning process, especially when you are learning a language, any language, even our mother tongue, we say that L is RW, 4 skills. The first one is L. What is that? Listening. When you listen carefully, you will understand, comprehend many things. So this is the basic step, first step of interpersonal skills. Empathy. The second one, empathy. Empathy is the ability to understand and share the feelings of another. It involves putting oneself in someone else's shoes and acknowledging their emotions. Very, very important. When a person is sharing something, you might not have experienced the similar kind of situation, so you don't have any idea about that situation which he or she experiencing now. What you have to do, you have to understand from the speaker's perspective, the person who is sharing the things with you. You need to understand that person's point of view, which means that you have to, for many times we say that you don't know what I am going through. You have to understand my situation, my point of view, right? That is, you have to think. You say that sometimes we say that if I were in your position, I will act in this way. Many times we say just like that, but you need to understand really, if you were in a position, how do you tackle that situation? What would be your solution to that problem? How do you resolve that problem? Any kind of emotions, you need to understand the other person's point of view. The emotion might be anger, happiness, sadness, anything. You need to acknowledge and understand. For many people, it is easy to acknowledge happiness, right? Sharing. When you share your happiness, it gets doubled, right? If you share your happiness with the right people, it gets doubled. When you share your sadness, it gets reduced. Again, if you share with the right people, right? So you have to give confidence to the speaker that you are the right person, right? So when the person shares, he gets the confidence that you are listening and you are understanding his point of view, his perspective, his emotions. That is very, very important. So these are the things, stage by stage, you are building your rapport. The next, non-verbal communication. Non-verbal communication includes body language, facial expressions, gestures, and other non-verbal cues that convey messages without using words. It's very, very important. When you talk to people, people may understand your body language first and they believe your body language rather than your words. In a classroom, a teacher asks the students coming to class late, a bit late, maybe 5-10 minutes late, and the students are waiting outside. So, when the students ask permission to enter the class, the teacher nods her head. They understand that the teacher is accepting. When she nods her head and says that don't get into the class, what would happen? What would you believe? Whether the nodding the head for yes or saying the words for no? Psychologists say people will believe non-verbal communication first. They acknowledge that emotion first. That's why, because it's spontaneous, reflex action. Immediately, without even thinking, our body reacts. So, people always, when people are getting ready to address in the public, they have to understand the postures, the way they stand, expressions. Now, that's why even when we use our communication app, that very basic one, WhatsApp, we use emoticons, right? When we don't want to say something, or when we think that instead of words, emoticons give more meanings. We send emoticons, right? So expressions, gestures, very very important. And when you do these things in the context of Tamil Nadu or in the context of India, different. Why it is different? Non-verbal communication is quite the same for everywhere? No, not at all. You need to understand the cultural roles. The culture played a very important major role. You know, you might have heard that when they talked about me, they said that I worked at Muscat. The students, Middle East students, they ask why you Indians always nod your head for everything. For them, it is, when they talk, their heads will not move. But it is not possible for us. Even when we talk something, we nod our head. For them, it is not. And the way we say yes, according to them, no. The way we say no, according to them, yes. The quite opposite. They understand in the quite opposite because their culture, you know, teaches them something else for the facial expressions. Right? The non-verbal communication. How do we say, vanakkam or namaskaram? That is the British people way to shake hands. And when we, you know, uh, move outside of the country or when we widen our contact, we should know how to shake our hands. There are many ways to indicate how confident you are. When you are getting ready for your interview, people will say how you have to open the door. When you enter to the interview boardroom, how you have to open the door and how you have to give your files, and how you have to sit on the chair, and how you have to answer to the questions posed to you. Eye contact is very, very important. Even when you're addressing a public gathering, we try to maintain some kind of eye contact with some people in the first of two rows. So again, eye contact, almost many countries accept while talking to maintain some kind of eye contact. But there are some cultures, when you go to Japan, people they don't maintain eye contact when they talk normally. Then when do they do that? When they are angry, they maintain eye contact. So culture plays a major role in non-verbal communication. When you are here in our country, you need to understand things which are very common in all the states. When you address people, try to maintain eye contact and showing a positive body posture is very, very important, which means that you get involved into that topic. When you are addressing, you should understand what you are talking. You have to be, confident about what you are sharing. When you are not confident, you will not show positive body posture. Many times in a classroom, teacher asks a question and some students will answer, but they don't answer boldly. Why do they do like that? What makes them to do like that? They don't want to be identified, right? They are not confident about the answers because of that. They feel that if the answers be right, then they want to show that, I'm the one who answered your question. Because they do not know the answers or they are not confident about the answers which they say. Because of that reason, they lower their voice. Right? These are the very important non-verbal cues we need to understand to maintain, to widen our connections. Adaptability. The next one is adaptability. Adaptability is the capacity to adjust one's approach and behavior in response to changing circumstances or different individuals. It's very easy because we are naturally adapt ourselves based on the situation. You know how to adapt yourself, right? You know how to behave in a classroom. You know how to behave in a ground. You know how to behave in a theater, right? So we know, we try to adapt ourselves based on the environment and based on the behavior of one's approach, right? When somebody talks to you very rudely, you know how to handle. If the person is your peer, you know how to handle. If the person is your teacher, you know what to do. So adapting according to the situation, according to the people, according to the individuals, very, very important. That's why, Indians are settling in various countries, earning in various countries because they know how to adapt themselves according to the country's rules and regulations. When they drive here, they do not follow any rules, any traffic rules. Somebody has to say every now and then that you have to wear helmet, you have to put seat belt. But when they move out of the country, they follow what the country says. They adapt themselves according to the rules and regulations of the country. Right? Adaptability is very, very important. So when you complete your degree, when you go for a work, try to adapt organizations according to the organization's culture to widen your connections. Conflict resolution. Conflict resolution involves addressing and resolving disagreements or disputes in a constructive manner, focusing on finding mutually beneficial solutions. You know, it is quite natural for us. I don't know if two people fights on the road. Normally, the person who passes on the street, he stops and he tries to separate them. If possible, he tries to give solution to the problem. It is inbuilt, I think, in Indian culture. This is very, very important. If you are a team leader, doesn't mean that after completing your degree, you need to work in a company. In that company, no, you'll be a team leader. No, not at all. Even in your class, if you are a class representative, you need to understand sometimes people, individuals do not agree with others' opinions. The thing is, you need to listen. So you need to follow all the steps which we have discussed so far. Listen carefully, empathy, non-verbal communication, everything. How both of them explain their problem. So when you observe, when you listen carefully, you need to understand. Sometimes, two people, they do not understand the other's perspective or misunderstanding. If you observe both of them in a different perspective, you will understand both of them, and you may address the problem. You can give solution in a constructive way, which means that you are not denying, you are not disagreeing, you are trying to explain. You both have different opinions. It is not necessary that everyone has to accept the other's perspective, but everyone should understand that others also have different perspectives, which you can explain them in a constructive manner. So, this is a very important component you need to develop yourself when you want to sustain in a relationship, when you want to maintain good rapport with people. You can see the picture, and there are many things which are correlated, interconnected with all the components which we have discussed earlier. Building trust. Building trust is the process of establishing reliability, credibility, and confidence in relationship through consistent and honest behavior. So it is not an easy way. This is a process actually. You know that what is process mean? It has to take its own time. You need to, there are certain things you need to earn to sustain in relationship. You need to learn, you need to earn your education. You need to earn respect. You need to earn money. You need to earn love. It is a process. You need to earn trust. You know, when you are studying hard for your exams, and whenever teacher gives test, you write your test sincerely. Even if you are not prepared for the test, you don't copy, you write genuinely, whatever the answers you know. When the teacher learns that you are genuine, if you know the answer, if you don't know the answer, you won't write, or else you give your explanation. Do you think that teacher will believe the words? No. Because the way you build the trust, the way how the trust, how the teacher thinks that no, 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 that student won't do that. How? Because the process, the way you behaved in the class, the way you attempted so far in the test,
You can proceed, madam. Dr. Nagalakshmi, madam. Dr. Nagalakshmi, madam.
Signal issue. Signal issues of network.
Hello.
Yeah, am I audible, sir?
Yes, yes, you're audible, madam. You can proceed.
Am I audible?
Yes, madam. Yes, 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 madam. You can proceed.
Sir, am I audible?
Yes, madam.
Sir, am I audible?
Yes, madam.
Yeah,
Yes.
thank you.
Yeah.
So, the process, the way you behaved during class test. Yes, sir. I'm continuing. Thank you.
Dr. Nagalakshmi, madam.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, madam. Is there any signal issue for you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry for the inconvenience. I don't know, maybe internet bandwidth. So, building trust. The teacher, when the teacher listens somebody's words that this boy copied in the final exam, she would not believe because the trust she has on that particular boy. The process, because the process during the class test, how the boy behaved, how genuine he was during the class test, right? Because of that process, the teacher trusts the boy. She understands that this boy will not do copying. Whether he doesn't know the answers, it is not a problem. He will not do copying. So it is a process. It is not overnight process. You need to give time. No, through the consistent efforts you take to build the trust, this reliability, credibility. These are not just words. You need to work for those words. No, when I have said so many things for sustain, the most important and very difficult one is this building trust. Because nowadays people are not ready for the process. Everything they need, you know, fast track. But building trust do not have any fast tracks. It takes its own time. Through your consistent efforts, only you can build your relationship. Or the relationship will not stay longer. You cannot sustain in that relationship. Without trust, any relationship cannot withstand. So this is very, very important, and it's very hard to inculcate, imbibe it, but it is the basic and essential thing to widen your connection. So, strategies for developing interpersonal skills. What are the strategies? We all know that the types of interpersonal skills I have mentioned here so far, that active listening, right? Adaptability, non-verbal communication, building trust, conflict resolution, so many things. How do we develop these skills? Training and development programs. What we are doing now. Workshops on communication, workshops on conflict resolution, workshops on team building. Many organizations they conduct these kind of workshops. Why? To rejuvenate the employees' interpersonal skills. It is not that they do not have, they have. Rejuvenate those skills will help them to perform in a better manner. So, the first strategy is training and development program. You can attend as many training programs related to communication, conflict resolution, team building, right? And self awareness and reflection. At least every 6 months or every 3 months, we need to introspect ourselves. We need to find our strength and weakness and how we strengthen our strengths and how we change our weakness into strength. Then active listening practices. What do we do for that? We need to listen to any kind of speech or anything based on our interest. And then we need to paraphrase or summarize the audio or video which we have seen or listened. That improve our listening process. Whenever the students, when they go for IELTS or TOEFL exams, our students are very good in writing and good in reading and okay in speaking and very bad in listening. Why? Because they do not have skills of listening. They need to listen more and they don't understand what is active listening. Active listening means that whatever you listen, if you are able to summarize simulation, role playing. So sometimes in schools, we might have had the chances of playing different roles like actor, engineer, right? Chief minister, prime minister, governor, right? Teacher, doctor, nurse, many roles. Why? How these roles How this role play will help? Role playing and simulation. Usually when I worked in Muscat, there was a technical training institute. When we do that, fire drill, fire alarm. So we give practice how to respond fire alarms, what you have to do. So when you develop when you develop using these strategies, your interpersonal skills, then your communication will improve, then your connections will be widened. When you are confident, when you are ready to face any situation given to you, and then you know how to communicate, ready to face the challenges of life. So these are the skills which we have seen, right? Some of the skills which are interconnected, like solving, staying positive, relationship management, teamwork. So developing and refining these skills not only contributes to individual success but also fosters positive relationship and collaborative environments. So as we navigate an increasingly interconnected world, the ability to connect and communicate effectively stands out as a key determinant of success and fulfillment. With this note, communication is the solvent of all problems and is the foundation for personal development. With this quote, I conclude my speech. Thank you. And do you have any questions? Any questions?
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much. Your session
Thank you,
was very
ma'am.
thank you, ma'am.
Thank you. Thank you.
Shortly, our students will come for the questionnaire session.
Yeah.
Wait. Ma'am, I hope there is no questions from the student side. Shall I go for the vote of thanks session, ma'am? Ma'am, am I audible to you? Nagalakshmi, ma'am?
Hello, ma'am.
Ma'am,
Yeah.
I hope there are no any questions from the student
Can I
side. Shall
leave?
we? Few seconds, ma'am. We'll end this session with the vote of thanks, ma'am. Please wait for a few minutes, ma'am. Let me invite Mrs. Deepa Martin, Assistant Professor, Department of English, to propose the vote of thanks.
Very good
Yeah,
afternoon to
yeah,
one and all.
sure.
Very good afternoon to one and all gathered here on this wonderful afternoon. I am Mrs. Deepa Martin, Assistant Professor of English. Would like to present the vote of thanks. I take this golden opportunity to thank respected chief guest of today's webinar, Dr. M. Nagalakshmi, Professor of English, Wales Institute of Science and Technology, Pallavaram, for accepting our invitation in your busy schedule to grace this event. We will cultivate the ideas you shared with us today to improve our interpersonal skills in a very detailed manner through this webinar. Thank you, ma'am. I extend my gratitude to the respected principal, Dr. N. Sujata, not only for spending a time with us today, but also for encouraging us to achieve more endeavors. I thank our HOD, Mrs. M. Vijayalakshmi, and our colleagues to work hard to organize this webinar. And I record my sincere thanks to PRO, Mr. Balaji sir, for his technical support. Last but not the least, I thank our students who have participated enthusiastically in today's webinar. Without you, it couldn't be a success. Thank you all.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Nagalakshmi madam. Let us end the session.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
Thank you.